Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. If this video hits 1,500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away $100 worth of crypto. All you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Having said that, I have a question for y'all, and that is, did you get the notification for this video? The reason I'm asking is because I have only recently noticed that people can only get up to 3 notifications a day. So as you can see here, this was just a breaking news episode, but that was the 4th of the day. And that is why I think most people did not get the notification for that one, and only for these 3, and most likely for this video that you're watching right now too. But let me know down below, because maybe I messed up somewhere and I don't get how the system works. It could be. Let me know down below, and let's go on. YouTubers bet on XRP. Is a 2,000% price increase possible after the SEC lawsuit? Well, according to XRP researcher, the XRP price could increase by more than 2,000% after the SEC lawsuit. World famous YouTuber Daniel Keem, aka Keemstar, aka Drama Alert, bought 1 million XRP worth almost $300,000 to profit from a Ripple favoring outcome of the SEC lawsuit. And funny enough, right now, that is actually up even, because right now it's worth $281,000. And that's also pretty interesting, right? If you start to consider, if let's say I had a $1,000 stash of XRP. If XRP were to move from 28 to 27.5 cents, you don't really notice too much, right? Because it's really insignificant on whether you have $1,000 or $993, basically. $6, $5, you're not really going to care too much. Funny, with Keemstar, since he's talking, 300,000, if XRP goes up just the tiniest amount like it did right now, he's already up a couple $1,000s. That's really interesting sometimes to me. Of course, that also works aversely, the other way around. If the price goes down just a little bit, he's also down thousands. But, if we're honestly speaking here, if XRP were to really beat the odds and beat the SEC basically, which I personally would think, I do not even think 2,000% is too much for where it's going to go. And that is logically, if you start to think, okay, so let's say times 10, right? That is, again, going right now to about $3. Would that be strange? That's 1,000%? No, not really, because I think it would have already been at about $2 or so had this whole lawsuit not been there. And then the only question is, can it double from that point up forward to, let's say, about $6 or so, or even a little bit less? I'm like, well, of course it can, and especially if it's officially considered not to be a security. Right now, we always had a very big barrier, and you might say, but 2017 was a speculation-filled run. That wouldn't happen now again. Why wouldn't it? In terms of price, that is. Not in terms of the same incentive, but if it hit it back then for only hype, then right now, once we get the real use case in right now, and the official go-ahead of not being a security, I think things should really be amazing. But again, that's just my opinion about it. Make sure you also check out this breaking news video, though. It is about that the SEC officially has a new chair. You can see it. Go check it out. Then BlackRock moves to invest in Bitcoin futures. Investment management firm BlackRock has granted 2 of its funds the ability to invest in Bitcoin futures, and here we can see it once more. 2 BlackRock associated funds will invest in Bitcoin, or actually Bitcoin futures. And here you can see now BlackRock Funds V and BlackRock Global Allocation Fund Inc. can now invest in indices, interest rates, credit events, commodities, and currencies. The asset manager wrote, the only Bitcoin futures in which the funds may actually invest are cash-settled Bitcoin futures traded on commodity exchanges registered with the CFTC. The company also cited some risk related to the involvement in the crypto sector, like regulatory changes, illiquidity, and valuation issues. It also said that Bitcoin futures are not as liquid as other futures markets and are relatively new. So one important thing there is that they're quite right in the sense that if they all of a sudden want to liquidate $1 billion worth of crypto, it's going to be pretty difficult to do that, right? So from that perspective, they're pretty correct in the sense that it's not as liquid as, for example, an FX market. Then, from stimulus to Bitcoin taxes, a primer on a Janet Yellen-led treasury. So I've heard a lot of people complain about this in the comment section, and all I can say is, guys, do not go too crazy until you have real facts. Right now, it is just a little bit of speculation, and the speculation we'll discuss a little bit later too, because I don't have the article open here by accident, basically. But what it's all about is the crypto tax. There's a new basically a new crypto tax idea where even unrealized gains, not only for crypto, but basically for a lot of these things, might also get capital gains tax basically at the end of the year. Fun fact, in the Netherlands right now, you actually have a capital gains too, but a very low one. In the US, it is pretty damn high, but it used to only be if you really realized your profit or loss. And right now, there's an idea to also tax the unrealized gains, basically. And again, there's of course a lot of debate against that. I think 99% of the people will be against it, so I don't think it will even pull through. But there's still a lot of speculation about it in a negative sense because people are afraid. Quite logically so, because it's a very heavy thing, but all right. Then Bitcoin bears, and I'm still, by the way, not quoting too much about the whole Biden situation. I want to still wait a little bit for some crazy statements coming out in the next couple of days. Of course, the prices have already reacted quite negatively, but all right. Bitcoin bears back in control. Is 20,000 really a possibility? Yes, it is. It is a possibility, but for me, 27.5K Bitcoin is the next price target, which is still standing. Let's hope it hits that. Can buy in a little bit more. In the end, though, it's always scary to buy Bitcoin, right? Because we're already so ridiculously high from where we used to be, like half a year ago. Then, U.S. President Joe Biden puts a pause on proposed crypto regulations. Once more, I'm not talking too much about the crypto Biden situation in terms of price, but we are talking about this in terms of regulation, and there's actually two sides to this. One, this is very positive because the rules were going too quickly in a negative sense. For example, the whole wallet ordeal, so this is positive. On a different end, it's very negative because people want the clarity, and now since it's been postponed, basically, and a lot of regulations will most likely just take a little bit of time to, I guess, be rethought. It will most likely be so that people are still a little bit less excited to go for crypto since the regulations are not around the corner, even though they are still pretty damn close. Then this early investor just sold his Ethereum stash he held for 5 years. He basically bought Ethereum at $2 a pop. And the only thing I want to tell you guys here is it's, to me, really fascinating how people bought some coins so cheap, because even I did not buy Ethereum at $2. So that's really cool. But also, don't think you have a bad position just because you didn't buy there. Because a fun fact is, he might have bought at $2, but there's always going to be someone who bought a lot cheaper. And these are early, like almost beta testers, but we're still the earliest of the bunch. That's the way I like to see it. It's still very early into this whole crypto ordeal, and thus, I don't think we have to worry too much about it. All right, I don't think we should really be worried about, are we too late? I don't think so. I think this is just the start of crypto. We're in the first, I guess the first 10 years for most of these projects, the first 5 years, basically. You should see it like the start of the internet. Things are going to go even crazier in due time, and eventually everything will be built on top of this. This is just the start. And then the ripple effect. Soho Waterworks partnership with Clear Alaskan Glacial leads to innovation in bottled water industry. You know, a fun fact, this stuff has nothing to do with Ripple / XRP or things akin to that. And I see so many people sending this stuff to me saying, Dusty, what does this mean for Ripple? I see Ripple in the title. What is going on right here? Tell me about it. What's going on? If there is, then I did not know about it, but I'm assuming that in this case, in most of these cases, they're just talking about a ripple effect. So even though there's Ripple in the title, it does not mean they're talking about Ripple the company, but they're talking about the effect of rippling, basically. If you drip something in water, you'll see a ripple, right? You'll see ripples. That's the effect, basically. That's that things just kind of flow into more flows, if that's a good way to describe it. It doesn't mean what a lot of you guys think, that Ripple has some secret partnership here in the back end, and you have to go speculate about it, so Ripple's in the title, but it's not mentioned? That means it's a secret partnership? Question mark. No, guys, please take it easy, take a step back, focus on what's really happening right now. For example, BlackRock getting into crypto, that's really happening. That's really heavy, because these guys are one of the biggest. They are the biggest in the world, right? $7 trillion in management, I believe it is. Just the biggest in the freaking world. This type of stuff should get you excited. Because if they get into it heavily, a lot of people will follow. And that, no pun intended, is also the ripple effect. Because a company like this pops on in, moves on in, a lot of other new companies are going to be hopping on in as well. And since there's just more talks of regulations, I personally think a lot of other companies will join in as well, as they notice that it's all coming eventually. And if they get in before proper regulations are here, if they're thinking they're going to be positive, they'll get a nice little premium on their money when the regulations actually come. But again, that's just my 2 cents on the situation. Make sure you check out Dusty BC Crypto News, which is this channel, but this video right here, just does some breaking news. I don't think many people are going to check it out because of the notification issue, but just check it out. And if you're really wondering about my XRP price prediction, short term, I have no idea. It's pretty risky. But if it is officially not a security, 2,000% is just the start of our worries, I think. I think we're going to go really, really far. But again, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody.